everybody, welcome back to our, I guess, 2 month haul video for Blu Ray Hunter. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, aka the Blu Ray Hunter, and I'm with
John Ward, aka nothing.
Dark Park Films.
Oh,
John
well,
Ward.
okay. John Ward at Dark Park Films. That's what my little thing says down there. Yeah.
Yeah, there it
That
goes.
that that sounded bad, my little thing down there.
I hope people understood, but you know what? You're pointing down there.
I'm talking about this little title right here. So that little thing.
Yeah, which I can't see it if I don't like push my arrow up, so I can't see it say that. But I'm sure it says that, period. So anyway, moving on. So we do a thing now where we're gonna have 25 movies. We did it last time. We had 25 movies, and I think that's a good number to have. I mean, it's a little odd, but I kind of like it because you can do a set of 10, then another one of 15. And it's pretty much the same amount of stuff that we would have doing at the uh kind of around what we would do when we do our hauls anyway. So, one side round of 10 and then a 5. But anywho, I'm gonna let John go first and show his first 10. Then I'll show my 10. Then John will do his 15, and then I'll do my 15. There you go.
Okay. Should we get into it then?
Let's get right into it.
Okay. So this is a little bit of a little bit of everything type of thing
Okay.
in here. So but it does lead into the Kino Lauber stuff.
Oh,
Am I saying that
okay.
correct? Lauber?
Lorber.
Lower. I just have to get that
Like
up.
yeah, it's
I gotta
lore.
get that.
Like just think of the like folklore, lore, and then burr. So lore burr,
Lober. Kino
lore,
Lorber.
lore burr. Yeah.
Just to
So
pick a
I know
better
it's really
and
difficult. It
easier.
took me
Yeah.
a bit to figure it out, but yeah, that's how you say it.
Yeah.
So you
Thank you.
got it.
So yeah. So that's mostly the second haul, or the second batch. So the first one is one that I was hoping that I would get on the last one, and I got it afterwards. But that is the Arrow Video Flash Gordon Blu-ray.
Nice.
Wait,
Flash. Oh.
and I, a long time ago, I put up on Facebook. I wrote, Flash Gordon, he's the savior of the universe. Basically quoting the song, and somebody wrote, and I know who it is. I just don't want to say who it is, but it wrote, "No, God is the savior of the universe." And then someone else responded, "She doesn't even know Flash Gordon." Like, okay, so all right, sorry to offend you, but
Well, thank you for apologizing, John. A lot of people don't do that to the Christian community.
I was saying it sarcastically, but this is it looks like it has everything from the American DVD and the British DVD.
Okay.
Because the American one doesn't have audio commentary, but the British one does. Melanie Anderson and Sam J. Jones refused to do audio commentary for the American one because they felt that it was communism, that they would have to do it for free instead of not getting paid.
They
So
got
they
paid for
made
the commentary in the English version?
no, they didn't do one in the English version.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. In the English version, there is no audio commentary because they refused to do it because they thought that it was communism that they had to do it for free. So they made their own audio commentary that you would just pop into a CD player and you could play it with the movie. But you
So
had
you
to
have
pay
that?
for it. I do have that. Yeah.
Cool.
And then the British one, that's the one that has like audio commentary from a lot of the people around our two main characters. So it's like Brian Blessed and stuff like that. And it looks like they've combined those here plus more. So that's good.
Cool.
Um, so this looks like a really good Blu-ray. So it's
Nice.
yeah. And then it's got the reversible inside, so it's got the
Hmm.
poster, the original poster over
That's
here.
what I love. That's what I love about Arrow, man. Not
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
companies do that.
but I never flip it. I just keep it this way because I don't want to mess up the crease because then you
That's
get
your
the
choice. That's your
lines.
choice. I mean,
Yeah, I don't like doing that. I just it's nice to
there's
have.
no wrong or right way.
So and then the next one is a bucket list one that I've wanted, and it is from Vinegar Syndrome, and that is Demonoid,
Nice.
which I saw way back in the 80s. And a friend of mine at the time and myself left the theater, and he asked me if I liked it, and I said I did, and he goes, "Yeah, of course you did," because he didn't. So um, I'm I'm guessing he means that because I just like blood and all that stuff. So,
I don't
but
know.
it's called Demonoid: The Messenger of Death, and but they've left it off here. I don't really know why. And it's got a whole buttload of um, special features, and it has the alternate version of the film called Macabre, which is 90 minutes. This is 80 minutes.
Did you
And
watch it yet or anything? Or
I saw the original a long time ago,
so you haven't
and
seen
I
like the
found it.
Macabre what
No,
version
I
of
have.
the? Oh, you
Yeah, I've
have.
seen both. Yeah, I saw
Okay.
Macabre a long time ago. I found it online, and it's very different. It's Spanish. It has a lot of plot left in. When this came to America, they just cut all that plot out and just made it about a hand going around killing people. But but I love this film, and if you look closely at the poster, it's very like Charles Band, like
Full
media
Moon.
entertainment, because this blue person here is also on the Snuff VHS box, and this was originally released on like Media Home Entertainment, and I think the Snuff one was Cult Video, so it's like reused. Um, and it also so it's got Blu-ray and DVD, and it has the reversible inside too. So this one is a really good one to get.
Cool. Good to
Next
know.
one, yeah. So those are kind of like the two random. The next one, the next few are Code Red, but I ordered it at the same time as the Kino. How should I say it? Kino
Lorber. You can say
Lober.
Kino, I'll say Lorber.
Oh, I'm just gonna say Lober. I don't care. I mean,
No.
I don't work for the company. So I ordered these at the same time as Kino Lober, and but they're Code Red. So Slitus,
Okay. Cool.
which is always a good one. It's funny, you barely see the monster in the movie, so they put it here on the back.
Of course.
But
Because if
this
you're
is
not
like
going to
night.
see the movie, the monster in the movie, they want you to think you're going to see the monster in the movie the
Yeah,
whole
this is
time.
also from Shout. So
Oh,
from
nice.
Shout Factory, not Scream Factory, but Shout. But I remember it as a kid, so I picked it up. It's the 70s, like late 70s,
Cool.
and I mean it's got some okay stuff in it. So um, this one I remember renting out on VHS a lot, like maybe four times. And I don't remember exactly why. I guess I really liked it. Somebody
Hmm.
that I'm friends with on Facebook commented that he even really liked it, but it's called The Love Butcher.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, I remember just renting it a bunch of times. So I guess I liked it, you know.
I would hope so.
Yeah. And audio commentary. So I mean that's the Love Butcher right there. He's kind of creepy looking.
Nice.
But yeah, so I picked it up because they were cheap.
Love Butcher, love. It doesn't work with Love
Butcher.
Shack.
No.
You know, baby love Butcher, love. No. Mm. Hey.
Love Butcher.
No, see, it's like
Tin
three
Roof.
syllables, right? No, two syllables. Butcher. So
Butcher.
Love Shack. Shack is basically one syllable. Shack.
It
So
doesn't. Well, we are no Weird Al Yankovic, so
yeah. Well, I mean, I try to make a parody of just trying to have fun with the name Love Butcher.
I think you failed. Um,
All right.
and the next one is Cut and Run.
I've heard of that one.
And I cannot even begin. It's that Ricardo del Odato. He's done like a bunch of other stuff too. You would know his name if you saw it, but it's got Willie Ames, Richard
Willie
Lynch,
Ames, the Bible man himself.
yeah, Lisa Blout, Eric LaSalle, Michael Berryman, and Karen Black. So
Cut and
that's
Run, directed by yeah, Ruggero Deodato or
yeah.
whatever. I have no idea. I don't know how to pronounce his name either, but yeah, he did like Cannibal Holocaust. He had a part of that. He did not direct it. Whoa, he did
He did
direct it.
direct it. Yeah, it's this Cannibal Holocaust
Oh, it's the director
and Jungle Holocaust.
and he was an assistant director for Django, the original Django, not
Yeah, he's done a
Django.
lot of stuff. I remember that he's done a lot. So um,
Nice.
this one I really want to see, and I got it for who's in it.
Who?
Um, and the movie sounds awesome. Um, you got to get something if it has David Warbeck in it. I mean, that's if it's a zombie movie or whatever it is. David Warbeck is just awesome, and this is Panic.
Panic at the Disco.
No disco in this one. No disco. But it's
Is
something about a scientist, and he creates something that's horrible. Then he goes around killing everybody. Sounds very 70s. And after I read the
and there's
description,
no disco?
there's no disco. But it's David Warbeck was in the Beyond,
Nice.
so he's definitely somebody to check out. The next one is a film that might be slightly offensive to people, but it is Charlie Chan and the Curse of the Dragon Queen.
You know, it's funny. I want to get those at some point. I think next year I'm gonna be getting those Fu Manchu movies, and that gets a lot. That's the very almost very racist these days because they had non-Asian people playing Asian people.
Well,
Usually
yeah,
like
because
Christopher
that's
Lee or
yeah, the Christopher
or
Lee ones are great. The one that Boris Karloff did was good, and
I think
so
didn't Bela Lugosi didn't play Fu Manchu, did he? No, that was
I think he was Mr. Wong. Like Karloff was Mr. Wong, and Lugosi was Mr. Wong, but I don't think he ever played Fu Manchu. But they
No.
did movie serials and stuff of Fu Manchu. So,
I just
um,
remember Ed Wood in the movie Ed Wood. The guy's like, oh, I was thinking of like Bela Lugosi when he played Fu Manchu and stuff. And he goes, that was Karloff. Keep trying.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
that would be correct. And this has in it Peter Ustinov, Michelle Pfeiffer, Ronnie McDowell, Brian Keith, and Angie Dickinson.
That's a great cast.
But I remember it bombing at the theater.
When was
Um,
this? This is
uh,
before Michelle Pfeiffer was Michelle Pfeiffer, right?
yeah, 1980.
Yeah, so it was right before like Grease 2, like Grease Lightning or whatever it was called, you know.
Well,
The
Grease too. She was in. Yeah,
but I think that
yeah,
was after that, right? Because I think she was in Grease 2
yes,
in the 80s, later 80s.
yeah. And I think this is Clive Donner who directed it. But oh yeah, look how young she is. That's her right there.
She's young. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very young. Um, but I remember enjoying it as a kid. But I do remember there being even as a kid that there was like an issue with it. This is Scorpion releasing. Okay. So this is Scorpion releasing,
So it's
and
got that
then
like racist kind of feel to it still, like the Fu
yeah,
Manchu
because
stuff.
that's Peter Ustinov as an
Yeah.
Asian
Why did
detective.
they do that? Like they can find Asian actors.
But they did the same thing with Peter Sellers. He
Well,
he was Fu Manchu. It
I
was
know, but
one of
why?
his last movies.
I mean, I guess if it's a comedy like Peter Sellers does, sometimes you can get away with stuff because it's supposed to be poking fun of stuff. But like, I don't know. There's a line
But
these days. You can't do
but
it now for sure.
but I've heard these days is this is called acting. Like if your character is only supposed to be a white cis male, that's not acting. Acting is you can take a white guy and make him into Charlie Chan, and that's acting.
Well, that's
That's the
like what
thing.
Tropic Thunder, like where a lot of people didn't even know. Was it Robert De Niro? Robert Downey Jr. was was the black guy in it, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, for a long time, people didn't realize that when they first started watching it because he was acting, you know?
Well, and in the movie, he is white,
Right.
but
But
he's just,
he's,
but
yeah, but
he
he's,
made himself. I don't think he did blackface. I think he like actually made himself that color, if I remember correctly. But Ben Stiller recently has told people to go f themselves. They're like, no, it's a funny movie. I'm proud of it. Go f yourself. So
everybody I know always still says they love that movie. So I don't,
he
I,
plays a mentally handicapped person. They have the whole you can't go full retard, and am quoting, so I'm not which is why he makes fun of Sean Penn,
yeah,
so it's I think it's a funny movie. I liked it.
I,
So
I own it. I like it.
yeah, shut up,
What makes me
everybody.
laugh?
Yeah. The next one is also Scorpion releasing, and I got it for Ken Wall, the guy who was in The Soldier, and some other stuff. But in this sounds crazy. Omega Syndrome,
Nice.
and it's ruthless, uh, merciless, out of control. They are Omega, a secret underground organization, and they must be stopped. And just its description when I read it sounded crazy. So, and not a lot of on this for special features, but it's got Ken Wall. I'm a big Ken Wall fan, so he kind of disappeared. Maybe try to track him
Um,
down.
look behind
This
the wall. I'll be here all night. Tip your
oh,
waitress.
great. Well, I will be going, and my waitress will not get a tip. Um, this is another one that I got for the actor who's in it. And it actually has a great cast beyond that too. But it's called The Devil's Eight.
The devil's ate. What did they eat?
Eight. Eight.
No, just
Eight.
once again joking. Titles, whatever. I'm gonna stop
Uh,
because
you're,
it's
you're about
it's.
you're about as funny as Carrot Top.
Well, it doesn't he use
You're about
props?
as funny as Adam Sandler.
I'm about as funny as oh, Adam Sandler. I guess I could go with that.
But I'm guessing this is, a ripoff of any movie with a number in it, like, The Magnificent Seven, Force Five from Navarone. But I got it because of this guy right here. That's
Was it?
Christopher George, who's in Pieces and Mortuary, and oh my
Uh
God. And sadly, he died right after Mortuary came out, like only a
oh,
few
that's
months
that's a
later.
bummer.
But yeah, so it's Christopher George, Fabian, Larry Bishop, one of the Rat Pack guys, Ross Hagen. I mean, Ross Hagen is awesome. And then Ralph Meeker. And each of the guys has their own nickname here. So I mostly got it just for Christopher George because he's just awesome. And then my last one is I remember loving this when it was I saw it like on Showtime and stuff. Like it kind of freaked me out a little bit. I watched it a couple times, but it's called The Comeback.
The comeback.
Yeah. And this is uh it's Redemption. I don't know what Redemption Films, but it's Kino Lorber. Um
You got that
it's
right.
Thank you. It's a Pete Walker film, and it says that it's part of his collection. Jack Jones is the main person in it. It's about something like a singer trying to do a comeback, but then people are dying around him. And I remember liking it as a kid. And so I purchased it because it was cheap. Yeah, the Pete Walker collection. I'd have to look to see what other movies Pete Walker did. This is 1977. So, but I don't really know what Redemption is. And there is a number on the side, 27.
Nice.
So I guess this Redemption
Not 37.
Films, no, but 27. So I guess you can buy their movies and put them in some sort of order.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's my first stack.
Alrighty. Okay, well, here's my first stack, and they're gonna be few of them are gonna be more, I don't know, like more Hollywood type of stuff, if anything. So, as you guys may or may not know, next year I'm doing the AFI 100, counting down from 100 to 1. And it's going to be a 2-year event, and I'm going to be doing reviews every week for, until it's done, basically. I'll have 50, done the first year, and then the next year, another 50. So, to
Oh,
begin with, I decided to do, I mean, for the number 100 is Ben-Hur.
okay.
So, and I wanted to make sure I owned every one of these movies. So I'm going to own 100 movies from, and then some of them I already own. So I'm not going to buy like all 100, but I'm going to own this. So, this is actually kind of cool because it has commentary with film historian T. Gene Hatcher with Charlton Heston. So, be kind of cool
Oh
to
wow, that was
kind of
okay.
interesting to hear him talk about his performance in it too. So it'd be neat if I could watch the movie then listen to some of the commentary. I don't know if I'd want to listen to a 3 hour some plus commentary tracks,
He
222 minutes.
he's so old that like the guy who's the moderator is like, so Charlton, what can you tell us about this movie? And he's like, when we crashed landed on that planet with the monkeys. No, Charles, this has been her. Yeah, when we were eating those people that were green. So I guess it just matters how old he is.
We'll find out. We'll find out what it was like. I'm guessing it was for like a laser disc, and then he transferred it over to the
Oh, that would have been a
thing.
while ago. So yeah,
Yeah, so I think it was probably an older one, but who knows? Next is the French Connection that I have up here.
excellent.
And yeah, and if you don't know the French Connection, I don't know what's wrong with you. William Friedkin, wonderful director. Um, and it's got commentary by William Friedkin. It's also got commentary by Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider.
Oh, nice.
It's got an
Does it
isolated.
come with the French Connection too, or is
No,
it just by
sadly, just
itself?
the first one, I
Okay.
believe. It doesn't say. It does say making the connection, the untold story of the French Connection, Road Cop, the Noir collection. So it's got a few. It's got a few. I'll put
Yeah,
that
I
right
got them right here, one and two, but they're DVD. They came in a box set.
Yeah, I got on blue. I gotta get everything on blue for the Blu-ray hunter. Next movie on my, I mean, on these aren't in order of the 100 or anything, but Sophie's Choice, which I've heard the t name before. I didn't know much about it, so I'm kind of excited to.
It's a
Uh,
pretty rough movie. I saw it decades ago, probably on like Showtime or Cinemax or something like that. It's a pretty rough flick.
it was put out by Shout, interestingly enough, and it's got commentary with director Alan J. Pakula.
Good
It's
director.
got new roundtable conversation with Meryl Streep, Kevin Kline, and more. So,
Oh wow.
uh, so if you haven't seen it, it's got Meryl Streep, Kevin Kline, Peter McNichol. I like Peter McNichol. You don't really see him in much. But I'm thinking of the same guy. It's that guy that was Yarnish on Ghostbusters 2, the weird,
Yes.
yeah, the
Yeah.
weird guy. I love him. He always pops up in such the strangest movies, as like in Adam's Family Values and all these weird fucking movies. But I want to see him in this kind of production. So I'm interested in checking that out since that'll be part of the first 10. Also part of the first 10, Toy Story, which you may
Oh, the
not like.
original.
Yeah, you may not like or may like, I don't know. But
I
it's
I I like Pixar until recently. It's
yeah,
basically everything. Once everything, you know.
I mean, Walt Disney owned them, so I'm surprised you like them. That's why I was saying that, because
Well,
like
remember, I liked Disney before all this happened, before Lucas sold, before Marvel sold, before Pixar is not the same thing that it
a lot of that
was
was
a
Bob
long time
Iger,
ago.
so it seems like you don't like the Iger reign, you know.
Probably not, but I mean, I loved all the Pixar movies. I'd have to see what they are, but maybe it stopped with Planes, maybe. I mean, I liked Up and all those, so I liked
Like
them all to a
Cars and
point.
stuff. Yeah.
Cars was good,
Yeah.
so
Just a
yeah. I
few
mean,
really good ones.
I like Disney to a point.
Yeah. Next is a movie that I know Paul hates, but it's on the list of
Oh,
100 films, so I'm gonna have to watch it anyway. My mom loves, so this is like one of my mom's favorite movies, and it's Yankee Doodle Dandy. You know.
I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. I'm a Yankee Doodle something.
Yeah, now this is very interesting because it's a Warner Archives collection, which is pretty cool. It's one of the things I'm planning to collect as many Warner Archives movies as I
I
can.
have a few of
There's a
those. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Um, and so they got Star Spangled extras, including Let Freedom Sing, the story of Yankee Doodle Dandy documentary, audio commentary, but they don't say of who. John Travolta remembers James Cagney. It's a weird
Okay.
little. Leonard Maltin hosts Warner Nights at the movies. I always love when Leonard Maltin's and stuff. Um, he was always that guy because he had that book, that big book of movie stuff, that was
Right.
pre-internet where you had to actually read shit, you
Yeah, his
know.
books are like that thick.
Yeah, and my dad every year would buy the new one. So I would go through all of them and he would give like bombs and things to like all the horror stuff like Nightmare on Elm Street. I remember my favorite thing was him describing part 4 as being the movie that had a dog urinating fire and bringing Freddy
Oh,
back
Nightmare on
to
Elm
life.
Street 4.
Nightmare on Elm Street 4, hilarious.
Well,
Uh,
as far as the movie goes, Yankee Doodle Dandy, does it also have, is it black and white, or does it have black and white and the colorized version?
Hmm. Let's see, it would say here, wouldn't it?
I think it, includes the colorized version or something.
Uh, no, it only says vintage cartoon Yankee Doodle Daffy. So Daffy Duck one. Audio only extras, radio show and pre-recording session,
Huh.
outtakes and
Okay.
rehearsals. So
All right.
cool. I don't want it to have a. I don't. I want it to be as pristine, and I don't want this colorized shit. You know.
No, I want everything. My Plan 9 from Outer Space on Blu-ray is black and white, colorized. It has audio commentary by Mike from Mystery Science
Yeah,
Theater, Mike Nelson. I mean, it's got
that was
everything. It's
pre
just like
before Mr. Before Rift
before
Tracks
Rift
actually
Tracks. It was
did.
in, yeah, in the middle.
Yeah,
So,
so I remember listening to that, and then later, because I got that too, but I got that on DVD, I think, not like Blu-ray. And then hearing the Rift Tracks version, a lot of the same jokes were used, just kind of transferred over, and Mike wasn't the one saying all of them, so it was really weird to hear like some of the same jokes that Mike said going to one of the other guys. It's kind
huh,
of,
I'll have to check that out.
yeah. So, Night of the Opera,
Good
classic.
film. Good
I've
film.
never
Yes,
seen
it
it.
is.
I saw Duck Soup. It was not, I think we had this discussion, as I told you I wasn't a fan of it, and you told me that there's a history behind it and all this other cool
No,
stuff.
I don't think that was me.
That wasn't you?
I don't think so. I don't know a lot about the Marx Brothers. I
Okay.
remember watching their films and enjoying them, and I've seen a documentary or two, but
Yeah, there's
that's
somebody who was telling me there's a history behind a lot of the like the war stuff and the other things that happened in the movie. And I wasn't a huge like I just kind of got bored by the war stuff, or whatever, because it wasn't as funny to me, as like I like the courtroom drama scene. So I was like, man, I wish they did like a full movie about a court, like a trial or whatever, I think that would have been cool. But I've heard this has some really funny stuff and extras includes a commentary by our boy Leonard Moulton,
oh,
he
there you
does
go.
commentary. Documentary remarks on Marx, the Groucho Marx on High Gardner show, 3 vintage shorts, and I guess there's nothing else I can understand what they're saying. So something about a Academy Award winning How to Sleep. I don't know. Something.
Okay.
So, next is an A24 film because I'm on my A24 kick and I'm trying to buy, you know, almost every A24 movie. If I can buy all of them, that'd be great, but it may take a while because, they're up to like two or 300 by now.
Have you
Um,
watched Beef?
I haven't yet. Is that A24? Did they put
I
that out?
believe it's A24. I think when I watched the trailer, it said A24. So they do TV too, TV shows.
Nice. I know they did TV. I just didn't know that was an A24 show. I'd have to check it out. Um, Eighth Grade, which I seen. I watched on like
No idea.
Showtime. What? Did
No
you see
idea.
it?
No
Never.
idea.
So Bo Burnham, the comedian Bo Burnham, I don't know if you know him or not.
I know of him. Yeah.
He wrote and directed this. This is, I think, directorial debut, and it's just the story of a girl who she's sort of obnoxious. You know, her name's Elsie Fisher, her real name. And Josh Hamilton's in it from he's been in a bunch of stuff. I don't uh and then like it's basically this is like 13-year-old Kayla endures the tidal waves of contemporary suburban adolescence as she makes her way through the last week of middle school. Basically, it's just this chick who's got, trying to hang with the cool kids from high school and doesn't quite fit in and stuff like that. It's,
Okay.
coming of age story. Um, it was funny, it had moments, but then the only problem I had with it was she was a little bit too like nasty at times that it made her really unlikable to the point where at the end I still didn't I she didn't do anything to turn that around. She didn't save the cat. That's what I'm saying.
Ugh,
You know.
okay.
So all right. Next is the Funhouse.
Yes, that's one that I need. Yeah.
Yes, it is classic. So I realized out when I bought it that there was a 4K version too. It's like, damn, I should have bought the 4K instead.
Well, sell me
Because
that one, and then you could use my money to put towards the 4K version.
maybe I will,
There you go.
you know.
I'm putting it out there
All right. All right. Well, we'll figure something out.
because I'm going to buy it eventually because it
Well,
goes along with my 80s slasher movies that I'm buying.
yeah. All right. We'll do that. Because then, yeah, then I'll have it. All
And then
right.
I could show it on the next one that we on the next video.
That would be cool. Actually, yeah, I'd like that. All right. We'll figure that out. Yeah. Did it
Okay.
get messed up though, the case? That's the only thing I'm worried about is nope, the case is fine. This wasn't that one. But it doesn't have a slip cover if you're big on slips. I don't know if you're big on slips or not, but it doesn't.
I do like slip covers, but some come with them and some don't.
Yeah,
I
so you
just
don't.
ordered the Meg, and for like $12, I think it was 11 and change. It was Blu Ray, DVD with the slipcover. And so I picked that up because the Meg 2 just looks amazing. So I
Yeah,
figured
told me about the thing for it.
it's just a full out monster movie. It's like that's the steel box,
The
right?
steel book. Yeah.
Steel book. Yeah, that's a great cover.
Yeah, fantastic. It was fun. It's a good movie. I like it. Um,
And some movies you can find with the cover, some you can't. So, unless
right.
it's brand new.
Yeah. Um, so anyway, yeah. So the Funhouse, and it comes with some great extras, including audio commentary by Toby Hooper, moderated by filmmaker Tim Sullivan. So,
So
you know.
when are they going to start doing audio commentaries with AI? Like the filmmakers will be dead and they'll do like a filmmaker commentary AI with that dead director.
I don't know how they could do that necessarily because well, don't you have to like still put in what you want the person to say? So they would have to like literally look through every single. No, you can't do it because they won't know exactly what happened on that set, you know. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be interesting commentary, you know? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe one day they'll do it. I don't know if I'd want to hear that.
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
exactly how it would be done, but yeah, it's everything's AI these days.
that's what the whole writer's strike is about. Is whether or not the
One of the reasons, yeah, yeah.
one of the reasons, and the other big reason is the streaming channels. So next is The Tingler.
That's an excellent one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one, so Indicator's a new group that I'm going to be buying as many movies as I can by them because they put out a lot of great shit. Um, okay. So there's look at that. Look at it all. That's all special features.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That
So
is a
I'm not
lot.
gonna go
For the
through all of them.
Tingler, that's a lot.
There's commentary with Kevin Lyons, editor of the Encyclopedia of Fantastic Film and Television, and Jonathan Rigby, the author of American Gothic, 6 decades of classic horror things. There's I Survived the Tingler. A lot of these are like just 4 minutes or 17 minutes or 3 minutes, like they're pretty short, but they're, you know, stuff like kind of cool to have. So
Yeah,
I'd rather have like commentary, or something, but and then a bunch of random little things, then no commentary and a bunch of just random, random things or whatever.
sure.
So I'm happy for all of it. And last but not least is a movie for this section. It's a movie that I told you about this, and a lot of people know from was it Facebook and stuff that I bought this the last weekend. I was so excited. I put it in my player and
Um,
it's a region B locked, which means that even on my 4K player, it can't play. It has to be on a region free player or whatever, one that
yeah,
has, all regions. So I have to buy one of those sometime because I'm gonna buy more of these because this is part of the Masters of Cinema. So this is a lost weekend, which been wanting really badly to see. Might have
good
to
film.
rent it just to see it at some point. But no, I'll probably wait. It'll be worth watching on my stuff. But yeah, that's my 10. So my first
Okay.
10.
All right. So now to my 15.
Hmm.
These are in some sort of order, and they are all, I'll look at this, Kino Lore Burr. So I only have to say it once because they are all that. The first one here is one of my favorite science fiction movies from the 50s. It is a great B movie with awesome stop animation, creatures in it. It's got John Agar, who's also a favorite, and that is Journey to the Seventh Planet.
Journey to the Seventh Planet. That sounds like fun. Is that black
Yeah,
and
it
white
is.
movie?
No, it's color.
It's
Look at
color?
that. It's got like this swirling thing with a big brain in it with an eye.
Nice.
This thing is awesome.
Yeah. Have you seen
Um,
it before?
yeah, yeah, a long time ago. But it's 77 minutes. Audio commentaries by a film historian, but it is really good. I don't think there's anybody else, yeah, that I recognize, but yeah, John Agar, and it's not a double-sided thing, but they put art inside, so it's not like the posters over here. They just did like a big
Yeah.
art thing
No,
for
I
the
I I see that a lot too.
yeah. So this is definitely worth checking out. Um, this is one of my all-time favorite end of the world movies. I used to put it on at the video store that I worked at all the time. And it is On the Beach, the
On the
original
beach.
On the Beach.
Sweet.
So all about nuclear war, and they're in a submarine. And they at one point go to San Francisco, and
Do
it's
they go on the beach at all?
um I mean, they get into like a radiation suit, one of the guys, and he walks around San Francisco, but they're more on a dock, and they
But I
want to
guess
get to
on the
Australia.
dock doesn't sound as cool.
No, they want to head to Australia because it's the nuclear cloud is going, and they feel that it might disappear or take longer to get to Australia. But it's got a great cast: Gregory Peck, Ava Gardner, Fred Astaire, and Anthony Perkins.
Gregory Peck is like one of my favorite like actors who don't get enough credit, I feel like. Like I don't
Oh,
hear as much.
he's a great actor. I mean, he was To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favorites with him in it.
To Kill a
So
Mockingbird, which I like fucking when I watched that, man, I was like, and I was older when I watched that because I might have watched it when I was young for a class, but it was one of those things where that was the time I used to sleep, like because nobody was paying attention to me, so I would sleep in the
well,
classes.
we we read, and I think most people do, you read To Kill a
Yeah.
Mockingbird in like school. And I remember then watching the movie, and in the book, it talks about the rabid dog that is down at the end of the street. And it's just this itty bitty little dog that's like hopping all around because it's all messed up from rabies. And then, Gregory Peck comes out with the gun, and, because he goes to shoot the rabid dog. It is exactly the book. I mean, that book is very close to the movie, or I should say, the movie is very close to the book. And I have used that scene with the rabid dog in some of my own stuff because it stuck with me so much. Of the camera is like 2 blocks away, and then, or is I'm sorry, here, and the dog is like 2 blocks away, and it's just this itty bitty little thing just hopping around, and it stayed with me. And now that's how I look at a lot of stuff when I'm writing a script and all that, is that scene from that movie.
There you go. It's
So
awesome.
yeah, great book too. I got speaking of Into the World, Chosen Survivors.
Chosen Survivors. You like End of the World shit.
I love Into the World movies. And so it's 1,758 feet underground, a perfect world programmed for man's survival, not woman's, just man's, except for chosen survivors. It's got Jackie Cooper, Richard Jackal, Bradford Dillman. So it's got good people in it. I've heard that there's a thing with bats that were added in later, like the studio added them in, and that kind of takes away from the movie. But yeah, it's all these people are just living underground.
Nice.
Yeah, I love an end of the world stuff because I think that's what's going to happen to us. So that it's
Maybe one day.
probably sooner than later. This is one of my all-time favorites, and it was definitely on my bucket list to get. But I got a couple copies of it, and it was damaged in some ways. And then finally, Kino had it. I'm like, oh, I gotta grab it. And that is Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, Sam Peckinpah.
I know that name, yeah.
Yeah, with Warren Oates. This is the film. Peckinpah. There are a few directors that you can call true men, and Peckinpah is a man. Like that guy, the Wild Bunch and everything that he made. It's all about being a man. And
Oh,
and
oh,
this Warren Oates was his main actor. So in this film, the way that Warren Oates looks is Sam Peckinpah. He took the attitude and the look of Sam Peckinpah, who directed the movie, and made him his character,
nice.
which I love. That'd be like, Mark Hamill using, George Lucas as his thing for Star Wars or something.
Yeah.
And it's got a fair amount of audio commentary and stuff on it. Sadly, most of these people are dead, but
I
it is a
remember
oh, and it's
the
got
only
the
thing I remember, like the first thing I ever saw War Notes in was Stripes, and stuff. So every time I see War Notes, I think of fucking Sergeant Hulka. It's so funny because Stripes isn't he, I mean, I don't know, Stripes is great, but like Sergeant Hulka was such a classic character.
oh yeah,
And so I saw him in the Two Lane Blacktop movie, and Warren Oates is in it, and he plays like this driver who I'm sure you've seen it.
long time ago, very
Yeah,
long time
and he
ago.
plays like a driver who thinks that the guys, like the big drivers, whatever the main guys, played by what's the guy, the rock guy, well, it's got the
Oh, Dennis
Dennis
Wilson.
Wilson, and then it's got the other guy, and they're driving, and he thinks they're following him, right? So he thinks like they're trying to like they want to race him or something. So like tries to offer a race them, and they're like, no, no, we're not really. We're just trying to get to this area and do this next race, and he eventually convinces them to like. It's just a great movie. People, if you
It
haven't
is, but
seen,
I don't remember of that at all. So that's I don't know.
yeah,
I,
and
I saw it decades ago.
yeah, and what's like Warren Oates is so funny in it because he's just so like I don't know, crazy about everything, and it's fun. It's a great
Well,
movie.
he's a great actor. It's got the original poster under here, so it's got the
Nice.
reversible. But yeah, I mean, Peckinpah. I mean, you can't. I mean, the Wild Bunch, Straw Dogs, which is fucking
Straw Dogs. I
awesome.
have that on Criterion.
The Getaway, Convoy. I mean, it's the guy. Just he's just one of those few directors that's like a true man, and
He's a man's
he,
director too. Like he knows how to direct movies for guys, to
yeah,
watch.
yeah,
Women can watch it too. Not anybody can watch it, but I'm just saying, like, it's mainly like people that watched it back then. Those were the guy, like Charles Bronson is a male actor. You know what I mean? Like people
right.
draw to him. Fathers love Charles Bronson. Fathers love Sam Peckinpah movies.
Sure, sure. I would agree with that. Yeah. The next one is the director's cut of Straight to Hell by Alex Cox.
Alex Co Repo Man's,
Yeah, this is the
Alex
film that he
Cox.
made after Sid and Nancy,
Oh, nice.
and he does audio
I forgot he
commentary.
did Sid and Nancy. I could not watch Sid and Nancy. I got bored. I need to rewatch it. I think I'd
I
like it better.
I love Sid and Nancy,
I
but
think I
it's not exactly what happened to the Sex Pistols. So
right.
it's
Like I'm not
kind of
gonna
a
look at it as this
fantasy.
is the true story, or anything.
Yeah,
Whatever.
John Lydon is pretty pissed off about it. So, well, he's pissed off about everything. So, the next one is in the same way that I got that Blu-ray with Roy Scheider in it, that Night Game. I got it just for him.
Hmm.
And even though I did enjoy the movie, this is one I got just for Peter Coyote because I love Peter Coyote, and that's Slay Ground.
Heard of that? I think sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's just another good, just kind of gritty cop movie. And of course, where I learned where a lot of these guys came from was that film Southern Comfort. So Peter Coyote, Fred Ward, I mean, all these guys, the kids, some of the Carradines, they're all from Southern Comfort. And that's another one that I want to get because that is like a great cast in it. And since then, I was always a fan of Peter Coyote. And this
Nice.
is this is definitely worth picking up. It has an interview with Peter Coyote, but that's about it. So they're just are not very exciting.
I know.
at, at least they're consistent.
Yeah, I have
Uh,
one. Is it the same? Yeah. I mean, it's just
well,
it's
and
just
their sides are the
it's
same
a Kino
too.
Lorber movie
Yeah.
when you look at it because it's the thing. But I do wish the coloring would be different. The coloring is kind of bland, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know what? The movies are there's so many different types of movies. There's like really good ones and there's some really terrible ones that I love, and,
Well,
and stuff.
so this one is good. The next one is bad, and I got it for that reason. So this one is one of the greatest films ever made from the director of Jaws: The Revenge. The Taking of Pelham 123.
I know of that one. Yeah.
Do
Um,
not watch the one with Travolta. It's horrible.
Wait,
Uh,
Travolta?
yeah, they did a remake of it where it's the numbers. So it's a Taking of Pelham number one, number two, number three to make it different. But this
Um,
is, I mean, the cast that they had for the Travolta one, okay, fine. And it's got Denzel Washington and stuff. But this is Walter Matthau, Robert Shaw, Martin Balsam, and Hector I don't know how to say his last name, Elizondo. I know him, but I'm not pronouncing his name very well. But it is,
no, but
man,
I know who you're talking about.
this is a great movie.
Yeah, I gotta see. Well, I think we own it, but we don't own it like I think my dad has it. And I think my dad has like a non-Kino Lorber version of it, like, just a regular one that we got at like Dollar General or something, you know.
Yeah,
So I'll,
it's been released a couple times, and it's got like such a great ending too, like a
there's a
funny,
couple,
great ending.
yeah, there's a couple from like the 70s and 80s I really want to get that are like that, and was it's got like that's 70s, right? Like
Yeah, it's like 77, I think. No,
74.
74. Yeah.
Um, but it's got Robert Shaw in it, and that was right before
Yeah.
Jaws, and I mean, just fantastic. I'm excited to see that at some point.
70s, man. The 70s were music, movies, just the best.
So Paul like loves the 70s stuff. So whenever we do like film freaks, he'll generally pick a lot of 70s or 60s or whatever movies. And one of the ones that he picked, I think was either 70s or 80s, I'm not sure, but it was Prince of the City, and that was good. And I believe
Oh,
somebody like
Retreat Williams. Yeah, that's good.
Kino Lorber put it out or somebody like that put it out. And eventually I want to get it because it's actually a really good movie. It's just not on my list of like I need to own it now, kind of thing, because I
Right.
already saw it recently. So, but it's a good movie. Very fucking.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna be bored and hate it, like just because I don't know. Paul and I have different tastes, and he likes a lot of these stuff that. But it was just really well done. So I liked
Yeah.
it.
No, I remember liking it. So now this is the bad movie, and I got this for a couple reasons. Is there's the theatrical version, and then there's the unrated version of it that came with it, and it was one of the most predictable movies I've ever seen. And it's Color of Night with Bruce Willis.
I want to get that too. Yeah, Bruce Willis Color of Night with him and it was who's the girl in it?
Jane March, who was a thing for like 10 minutes.
Okay, and then this isn't the one that's set in Pennsylvania or something where he's I think
I'm not sure where it takes place, but
it's the movie I
the
was thinking of
there
because I don't think that's
I
it.
I'm not going to I won't ruin the ending, but there's something with Jane March that if you don't get it in the first 5 minutes, just give up because
Right.
it is so bad that I don't know how this was okayed. But it's got the includes the 122-minute theatrical cut. That's just long enough. And then it has the 140-minute director's cut. And then the director, Richard Rush, who did one of the best movies ever made, The Stuntman, has his director commentary for the director's cut. And then the screenwriter, Michael Chapman or Matthew Chapman, has audio commentary on the theatrical cut.
Nice.
So yeah, so this is a great disc. This is and they're on two separate discs. So
Sweet.
yeah.
I'll have to
So
check it out. I was thinking of Striking Distance, where he was on a boat or whatever, and
oh
in
yeah, yeah, he plays like
Pennsylvania. But
yeah,
no,
like the
I
cop.
looked it up. They came out like a year, like Striking Distance was a year before Color of Night, and I still see that. I mean, and I want to own it. I want to own his. I was on at one point. I was buying all like the newer Bruce Willis movies until I realized that he was sort of going through a bad time in his life at that particular moment. I didn't know, like
Right.
so now I kind of feel bad because like I'm like, oh God, am I gonna sort of see like a terrible
Yeah,
like version of
I
him?
don't want him to be known for that, unlike Nick Cage, where you call them his bankruptcy movies.
Hmm.
And that I have no problem with
Well,
watching
because
all
it's
of
not like
these.
he's sick or anything, and
No, no, and it's his own fault that he owed money to the government, and I mean, come on, owning like three castles and
exactly.
dinosaur
So,
bones, and I mean, so yeah, but with Bruce Willis, with him having the issue with his brain,
but man,
that's
his family is taking care of him. Like I've never seen a family come together like that. Like that to me was the sweetest thing I've seen is like his family really said, Bruce, you need to get out of this and come be like, we need to take care of you. And that just warmed my heart, because I know like he got divorced from Demi, more and everything, but she still like takes care, helps him out, does these
well,
sweet
he
things
was
for
at
him.
hers and Ashton's wedding.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, yeah, I mean, I
they
don't think there was
so
any ill will toward each other. They just, a lot of times, sometimes people just go, okay, well, we were married, but now we just not, now we
just
want to,
didn't
yeah, it
we
didn't
still
work
love
out.
each other. It just didn't, yeah.
It
And
didn't
I
work
and I
out.
got to meet him once as my ex-girlfriend, who I call the evil one. She has a friend, Melissa, who's in a wheelchair, and Melissa was staying at the hotel at the Universal. And we got back at night because we were driving around LA and stuff. And we're in the lobby and we see a limo pop up. And my the evil one and I are just like, wow, who's in that? And then all of a sudden, this like really tall blonde gets out, and then Bruce Willis gets out, and he walks her like arm in arm to the door past us, and kisses her goodnight, says, I hope you have a great night and everything. And she walks up, and as he's walking back, Melissa, the one in the wheelchair, says, Mr. Willis, can I take a photo with you? And he's like, yeah, sure. And so he gets down, and I'm taking the camera. It's her camera. It's one of those like little disposable ones. And I'm doing this type of thing. And he goes, no, 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 hand it to me. And I handed it to him. He just went click. And he's like, oh, no, it was her cell phone. I apologize. It was her cell phone. And he took it. He just hit the button, and he handed it to her. Or no, he handed it back to me. And I looked at it, and it was perfect.
Like
Like
he knew
he's
exactly.
done this, yeah, exactly where to go.
Kevin
Even just
Smith.
with the hand it to me, click, and then he just did it. And we thanked him. I shook his hand, saying, "Hey man, he didn't have to do that." He's like, "Oh man, no sweat." And he got back in the limo and drove off.
Kevin Smith. I met him. I met him more than once, but the second time I met him, he was at a Richmond thing. He was doing a like a talk, one of his talks, and me and my friend John were thinking, okay, maybe we can meet him. Maybe if we like stand outside, he's got to come out at some point to go to his limo, right? And so we went to like this alleyway and we thought maybe he'd be over here. We saw a bunch of people over there already. So we're like, okay, maybe they know something we don't, right? And he comes out and he goes, who's got shit for me to tag? And he starts
Uh,
signing everything. And then he starts taking everybody's phone every time and doing it himself and everything. Like he
because
knows,
they know
like,
the exact position.
I
Now
know.
he has not said many nice things about Bruce Willis because of cop out.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. I'm bringing up Kevin Smith after you're talking about Bruce Willis. They 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 got along before. They did get along at first, and then sort of, and then they even. I think the last thing he talked about was the fact that Bruce Willis forgot either just doesn't know all the shit that Kevin has said, like doesn't care, doesn't whatever, doesn't even phase him. But he called him up once and was just like giving him just talking about like a bunch of stuff. And then he was like thinking, oh God, this guy's gonna kill me because of all the things I said about him. And he was just like, hey, how you doing? Let's get together, let's hang out, like blah blah blah, you know? Like I think Bruce Willis was such a nice guy. Yeah, well, is such a nice guy. Sorry.
I mean, you hear different things, and Smith did say that he, when they were on set for Cop Out, that some guys drove by in a truck and saw Bruce Willis, and they went, "Yoo-hoo, Die Hard, Die Hard," and Bruce is like, "Yeah," and then he turns to Kevin Smith and goes, "Die Hard fans are the worst," and then Smith said, "My heart was like destroyed," since they had worked together on a Die Hard movie. So,
Well, I mean,
you
some of
know,
the fans are, probably are a little obnoxious. I don't know, but that's of anything,
well, but
any,
so can actors and all of them. So everybody can
yeah,
be obnoxious.
everybody can
So
be obnoxious.
yeah. But so yeah, so eventually I'll have to rewatch this. And if you haven't seen The Stuntman, you should. It's really good. Stephen Railsback is in it. The one that I also want to get, I don't know, it's gotta be available on Blu-rays, Traces of Red with James Belushi. It
No, but
is
I'll watch anything with James Belushi.
it's another steamy type thriller thing with what's her face from the wife from Goodfellas, and she was the therapist on Sopranos, like Lorraine Bracco or whatever her
Oh,
name
Lorraine
is.
Bracco, yeah.
Yeah, and she's in it, and I'll make this quick so we can move on. It starts with James Belushi dead on like a park bench for like picnics, and he's narrating from the grave. And I'm like, oh, I love this already. But then there's a twist, and I'm like, oh, I love this even better because it's bad. It is not good, but it was so bad it was good. So I got to
Which
get
one was
that too.
that? The Stuntman?
Well, the stuntman is from the director. That's Richard Rush, from the
Okay,
director of Color of Night.
but
Traces
what?
of Red is the
Traces
James
of Red.
Belushi.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the last one is Roger Corman's last directed movie of the 70s.
Wait, you gone through all your 15?
No,
Oh, okay. I thought you said you said the last one. So,
no. I said this is the last film that Roger Corman
oh,
directed in the 70s. And it's this here. I'm going to have a hard time because it's German.
the Von
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
Richtelfen and Brown.
Von, yeah, it's like Rick. Yeah, so it's his last directing film,
Nice.
and Don Shroud is in it, John Philip Law, and then it was like 20 years later that he did Frankenstein Unbound. Um, Interview with Roger Corman is on this one,
Nice.
but I collect all things directed by Roger Corman, so that's because I think that he is the greatest thing on the planet. So, last few, I got Buck Rogers of the 25th
I
century.
saw that in your box or whatever that you
Yeah,
showed
so
and
this
stuff.
is the
And
movie, not the TV show. So this is the one that came out 79, around the time
Buckaroo,
of
right?
like Battlestar Galactica and stuff like that.
Guru Banzai.
Um, so I figured why not? I own Flash
Buck
Gordon.
Rogers. I didn't they do, yeah, so was Duck Dodgers, the TV show Duck Dodgers, was that supposed to be Buck Rogers? Do you know what I'm
Yeah, that's
talking about?
Daffy Duck. Yeah,
Yeah, Daffy Duck playing.
but he's
Yeah.
supposed to be Buck Rogers from like the 50s, not
Right.
obviously not this movie.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, yeah. So, so I'm happy about this. I think that's cool. Now the rest of these have slipcovers. So
Kind of cool.
sometimes with Kino, you get the slipcover, and sometimes you don't.
Do you know what it is? You have to buy it in the beginning to get them, in their first certain amount of printing, because then they just do standards, which are without slipcovers.
Yeah, these all got them, and so I'm happy about that. A lot of the times what they'll do is they'll put slipcover not included, and
Right.
that was on Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia. It said next to it does not include slipcover. I'm like, fuck, but I want the movie anyways. So the first one here is a Mario Bava film, Planet of the Vampires, which is a great one. If you've never seen it, you should see this and It, Terror from Beyond Space, and that's Alien. That's what they based the movie Alien off of, is this movie and It, Terror from Beyond Space.
Nice.
This even has a space jockey in it. They actually come across like a space vampire that's like over a console, and it's giant, and that's where they took it from and put it into Alien. So,
Nice.
and it's got its little Jackie here, and it's got some decent stuff on the back here. So a couple audio commentaries by people. This is another one where I just got it for the people, and Joe Don Baker and Jim Kelly. So
Don
that's
Baker. Who's that?
Joe Don Baker. He was in a couple James Bond movies. He was a big 70s guy. He was in the Walking Tall films. But how all of us truly know him is from Mystery Science Theater 3000, them riffing on Mitchell, the movie Mitchell,
I've heard of that movie. I've never
which
seen
is
it.
one of the greatest Mystery Science Theaters ever. It
I'll have
is
to watch it. I think that's gotta be on Tubi.
most likely. Well, or YouTube.
Yeah, it's true. They do a
So
lot of mystery science there.
yeah. And this has got another couple, like one audio commentary and stuff. Next one is a film that freaked me out as a kid, and then I loved it later because it has such an awesome idea to it about collecting souls, so you never age, and that's The Apex.
The Apex.
I'm sorry, the Asphyx. I'm sorry, not Apex.
Asphyx.
I'm thinking of a different movie. Apex
Wait,
is a
wait.
Terminator ripoff.
Yeah, Asphyx. Okay.
Aspects. So it's this doctor develops this machine that at right of the time of death, your soul leaves your body like a second before you die, and they could capture it in these jars, and you are immortal after that.
Huh?
But you have to like hang yourself, and right before you're about to die, your soul, which is like this creepy little thing, comes out of your body, like a little ghost, and then they capture it like in a jar. So it's a really cool movie. So it has audio commentary too. Oh, it looks like it's oh no, it just has. I thought it was the audio commentary was by somebody who wrote the book, but no, that's just a critic who wrote a book. And then the last two, these two, of course, you have a movie with all three movies on them,
Okay.
or a disc that has all three movies, and that is They Call Me Mr. Tibbs of the Organization.
Nice.
So, which also has its. So I figure I'll just buy In the Heat of the Night by itself, which is fine. And special features are trailers.
Well,
Not very interesting, but okay. And then my last one here is speaking of white Americans playing Asians, the mysterious Dr. Fu Manchu and the return of Dr. Fu Manchu.
just talked about Dr. Fu Manchu, so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so that's Warren Oakland. He or Olin. He plays Fu Manchu. So once again, it's the white
White
guy
guy.
playing an Asian. So, but these are pretty. They're black and white. They're pretty classic.
Yeah.
So I
Any
decided to
Fu
pick them
Manchu. I
up.
mean, nobody would do Fu Manchu these days, I don't think.
I would still love to do it. I mean, Rob Zombie did that fake trailer that had Nicolas Cage as Fu Manchu that he did, for Grindhouse. That was
Yeah,
great.
Rob Zombie could get away with it just because Rob Zombie is like trailer trash. So
Well,
like
and it's
that's
just a trailer, and it was a comedy. You could tell it was meant to be
well,
funny.
I mean, he's just so like everybody just always knows Rob Zombie as like he's that redneck, you know,
He is
whatever. He
trailer
doesn't give a
trash. Yeah,
fuck. He just makes trashy movies. You know what I mean? If you really want to like make something and makes yourself known for Hollywood, some people won't dare do that, but that's your choice.
I would love to make a Fu Manchu film, cast an Asian in it. It's a series of books. There's like 10 books, so you could make a Fu Manchu every 2 years, and you'd be set.
All right, I don't know if these are in a specific order. I should have probably put them in order, but anyway, we're gonna go through all of them anyway. So that was your 15, right?
I am now finished
All right.
with everything.
So these are my three 4Ks that I got. And two of them are from Kino Lorber. The third one we showed off on the hall before, so repeat. But first off is The Apartment.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So I got a commentary by film historian Joseph McBride and the author of Billy Wilder, Dancing on the Edge, and audio commentary by film historian Bruce Block. Inside the Apartment documentary and The Magic Time, The Art of Jack Lemmon. So you had Walter Matthau. I've got Jack Lemmon. We got the Odd Couple right there.
Nice.
Um, Now to go with what you were saying before is the movies I got, that you had two of them or whatever, and I've got a three-pack. It's got In the Heat of the Night. Um,
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good pack.
so yeah, so it's got commentary by Norman Jewison, Rod Steiger, Lee Grant, and Haskell Wexler. Commentary by film historian Steve Mitchell and Nathaniel Thompson with Robert Murish. Then they called me Tibbs, and how they do that for this is so there you go, two different discs. The
Okay.
first disc is well, first disc is that they called me Mr. Tibbs and the organization. And is this and that's a Blu-ray. So it's the Blu-ray you have or whatever, you know, on one disc. And then the second disc is the In the Heat of the Night 4K. So
Let me
I
see
don't
what
have
this.
the In the Heat of the Night on Blu-ray, but I will be
So
getting it.
yours kind of looks like that because that's how
Yeah,
mine
it's
are.
the same
They're
exact thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Mine just says also special features. So look, see how yours has just two writing, it just has the two movies
Uh
on it. Mine says and special features. So
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, because the special features are for In the Heat of the Night. They didn't put the special features on the 4K.
People need to especially young people, I think today, they don't look at things like who directed In the Heat of the Night and when the film was made and who the actor is. Because you have a Jewish director
Norman
making a
Jewison.
movie, yeah, about a black cop in the South during a time period where they're still hanging black people. And he's in charge, and he has to give orders to white people, and they're not putting up with it. And so that's one of the reasons that makes it a great film. But people, I don't think these days realize that wow, so a Jewish director made that. And so as they went through their own issues, with Hollywood and the government and racism and all that type of stuff, it's I don't think that stuff is looked at anymore,
Mm-mm. All
and it
right.
should be.
So next is Sidekicks, which was one of my favorite movies that
You
I
love sidekicks, yes.
I do. It is one of my favorites. It's a childhood they like I was in karate and so at that time. And so it was just a big, just like the movie Only the Strong. Those two movies were like a part of my childhood of growing up becoming a karate kid, you know, and whatnot.
Karate Kid.
Yeah. Um,
There you go.
and that was the movie that got me in to going to karate, was The Karate Kid. Watching that movie so many times. My dad asking me that question of and I'm gonna put it in one of my movies, where, a dad says, what do you want to do for a sport? You know, I had that discussion with my dad and I said, uh, karate, like
You're like,
is
Dad, I want to be a karate kid
hmm.
because I
Well, he
want a
knew I liked that
sidekick.
movie. He knew I liked that movie a lot. One of my
I
favorites.
I
I think it's
I
in
want to
my,
be only the strong, Dad. There
what
it
is it?
is.
There it is, Karate Kid. One of my favorite movies. All right. So, next up is Old Ironsides. This is a silent film. And I'm super excited to watch it. I think I'm going to be reviewing it for the Blu-ray Hunter reviews. Um, it's a Grand Adventure on the High Seas. It's a pirate movie starring Charles Farrell, Wallace Berry, who my mom knows, Esther Walston, and some other people. Like this is a silent 114-minute, movie,
Oh
so
wow.
kind of
Yeah, I'd
excited.
never heard of it or anything. Yeah, sounds
Yeah,
cool.
I'm excited to check it out. Uh, I had heard of it because I was watching, and I can't remember the person who talked about it, but I was watching YouTube and somebody mentioned that they were getting the Kino Lorber stuff, and they made sure to buy that because that's going out of stock. While I went on, it's going out of print, and so I went on eBay like right after, and it was for $10 on,
Oh wow.
on eBay, and I was like, let me grab that. If it's gonna
Right.
go out of print, it's gonna cost more money later, so might as well dip in now. Um, so that was something I got on my own that was aside from the Kino Lorber sale. I didn't buy from Kino Lorber. Ones I got from Kino Lorber, aside, I don't know if those two, the one for whatever, one of the 4Ks, and the Heat of the Night was from the Kino Lorber sale. This was also from the Kino Lorber sale, one of my favorite Jim
Good
Carrey
movie.
movies.
Yep, good movie.
Uh, very, very funny and very dramatic. If you haven't seen it, it's got some good stuff on it though. It's got like commentary by the writers, moderated by film historian Howard S. Berger. This might be a story. The screenwriters have a conversation with Milos Forman, the director, and then a spotlight on location, and both music videos from REM, The Man on the Moon and The Great Beyond. They did for
Have you
the
seen the documentary about Jim Carrey filming that?
yeah, where he's like
Oh my
completely
God.
as Andy Kaufman and everything. That
Uh
would drive everybody nuts. People were they
murder.
were they were so cool with it. Like Milos Forman just seemed to be like, all right, I guess this because he's probably used to like those kind of actors, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like he just didn't seem to be bothered. Another Kino Lorber one I got from the sale is I got a couple Orson Welles movies. First
Ooh,
one has a slip is the Lady from Shanghai.
okay, good
Um
one.
yeah, and it's got some crazy stuff, but it's got commentary by like a film historian. How do you say this name? Imogen? Im like Imogen? Mogen? Mogan? I don't know.
That I don't know. I don't
Sarah
recognize
Smith,
the name.
audio commentary by novelist and critic Tim Lucas, and audio commentary by filmmaker Peter Bogdanovich, who weirdly enough
Oh, yeah.
he does a lot of commentary for a lot of older classic films.
Well,
Like
he's the protege of Hitchcock. He was
Hitchcock
one of
or
them.
Wells, because this
I'm
is a
so
Wells story.
wait of Wells. I'm sorry,
Wells.
I said Hitchcock. Yeah, he was a protege of Wells, like kind of like how Brian De Palma was like a protege of Hitchcock. That's what I meant.
Yeah. So a
So and
conversation with Peter Bogdanovich, 2000 interview, and three comments by film noir historian Eddie Muller. I don't know what three comments means, but all right, cool. Then The Stranger, which I had not heard of either, but I
wow,
was,
really? That was
yeah.
public domain, and like you could get that thing everywhere. Like it's on everything.
Yeah, but this one comes with audio commentary by film historian Brett Wood, original theatrical trailer, Death Mills, an informational film on the Nazi death camps, footage
Yeah,
of which
it's a good
appears in
one.
The Stranger, Orson Welles' wartime radio broadcasts. So four complete programs exemplify Welles's blending of propaganda and entertainment. So couple
The Stranger is a good one. It's is he or is he not a Nazi type of thing. So it's
yeah.
good.
It looks fun. So on this channel on Blu-ray Hunter, I think in June, don't quote me on that yet because it hasn't happened. But in June, I'm gonna be doing and this will be out on June 1st, so get ready if this happens. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a Orson Welles um month. So for each week will there'll be a new movie I haven't seen, and I got a few of them. And so this will be one of them. Lady from Shanghai, the one I'm gonna talk about in a second, in a little bit, and then Magnificent Ambersons, which I have not seen. But
Which is not magnificent. The race should just be called the Amberson.
I've heard it's not the cut that Orson Welles is proud of.
No, they took it away from him. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's sad. Um, all right, and then this is Code Red, and I don't know why it was in the Kino Lorber sale. I don't know if Kino Lorber and Code Red are
yeah, that's
together.
my code red where that's where I got them from was
I
from that
know. I'm
sale.
wondering if they're together, if they're like the same company, and it's just like that's a subsidiary of Kino Lorber or something, or whatever. But this was in the. I got this because it was $8 at the, and I even told you, I said I'm gonna get this on, or this is $8 there, and you were like, you better get that.
Oh, I don't remember. So let's see.
The strangeness.
Oh fuck yeah.
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 So you were telling me you were like, you got to get that. Now I don't have the Boogans yet. I did watch it and review it for 80s horror films, but I don't own it yet, and eventually I will. It's down the line kind of thing. Once again, like one of the other ones where I haven't just I've seen it, but in Prince of the City, I saw it recently, but I don't need to own it, yet. I've got millions of other movies I'll get before then, and the Boogans might be one of the ones I get like next year sometime, you know.
Yeah, Boogans it's Paul knows the actress in that one. He said that on one of our halls that
Yeah.
because she's also in I think the movie Silent Scream and he's like a fan of hers. And the and Boogans is all of films and it's very excuse me. It's pretty much the strangeness or the strangeness is the Boogans. It's
Like there's similar movies. It's like what's
yeah.
it? Was at one point there was like Volcano and Dante's Peak.
Dante's yeah.
Basically same movie, just different people making it or whatever. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
if I
yeah.
remember correctly, like the Boogans it's all practical effects for the creatures, and but for the strangeness, it's like stop animation.
Yeah, so it says bite into this rare 1980s horror film about a big and very strange stop motion monster in a cave terrorizing and eating innocent miners. So yeah, it's monsters in a cave eating people. Like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's the Boogans. Um, then here are my Criterion films. Those are all my Kino Lorbers. There's only like five Kino Lorbers that I got, and I think you're gonna do. a video where you do your haul of the ones that you've already shared
Yeah,
for your
down the
channel, and
road.
I'd
Yeah,
I'd love to come on and just talk about my five or whatever there for your fans who might may not follow my show, and my fans who may
sure.
not follow your show. Everything. So there you go.
Well, I thought
Um,
of just throwing in everything that's, low lore burr, because I don't own outside. I mean, there's a small.
yeah.
So I thought, oh my, just throw them all in.
Oh, okay. So you do all your collection, your whole thing of
But
the
yeah,
ones
why
you own?
not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well
because
then I'll do
if
that for mine because I own only two other ones, so I'll have seven, and you'll have like 30, I guess, like something like that, close to that, right?
something, yeah, I'd have to figure it out. Yeah, I'd have to go through the boxes and everything. But yeah, the boxes, the
Yeah.
boxes.
So the first Criterion one I got is My Man Godfrey, which we'll be
I'm
doing for Criterion Watch this year.
surprisingly never seen it, but I do know of it.
It is really funny. I saw it on, I think it was YouTube or Tubi. I think it was YouTube. Found it on YouTube, decided to watch it, check it out, what it's about. I'm in this like screwball comedy phase right now where I want to watch all those because I just want to know what more about them, you know? And this was on the list, so I checked it out and I was like, this is really funny, like it's great when you can watch a classic like this and laugh your butt off still, and
Sure.
it's 2023, you know. This was made in 1936, but
Oh yeah.
very, very fun. Um, the main star, William Powell is just fantastic.
Oh, Powell is great. Yeah.
Carol Lombard, Alice Brady. I mean, Alice Brady sounds like the Alice and Mrs. Brady from the Brady Bunch.
There you go.
So another one from the AFI 100 is Swing Time. Starring Fred Astaire and Ginger
Another good
Rogers.
one. Yeah.
Wanted to I'm going to be watching this when I do my AFI 100, so I'm really excited to dive into that.
You should find his best dancing movie and then compare it to Xanadu, his last dancing movie.
Oh man, he goes out bad, doesn't he? Xanadu, I've heard, is terrible.
It's
Um,
so awful. It's great. I've like three versions of the soundtrack. I still need to buy the movie, but like
but,
Brooks Davis from Full Moon is like a massive fan of that
all
movie.
right, and then the last Criterion before I go into my Blue Underground ones.
Oh
Last
yeah.
Criterion is in the last Orson Welles one I was talking about, and that's Chimes at Midnight.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
So I'm eventually gonna get the other two ones. There's two other ones. There's three or four maybe from Criterion, but only three of them left are on Blu Ray, and one of them is fuck, F is for Fake, his documentary that he did, and pseudo documentary. I think it kind of blurred the lines between documentary and fiction, kind of thing. And then have you heard of that? The Orson Welles one?
Yes, I went through a Wells phase back in like the 90s and I watched a whole bunch of his and unfortunately found them to be boring as hell. Like the trial with Anthony Perkins. I
Oh
watched
yeah,
this
I've heard that.
and yeah, and I sat down and said, it can't be, this is Orson Welles. It can't be this bad. And I watched it again. I'm like, God, this is so boring. Nothing happens. It's just him walking around. So
I
maybe
thought
if I
originally I
rewatched it,
watched when I originally watched
I
this in
like it.
Kane, I found it boring.
Oh,
Um,
that I did not. I saw that at a film school, and I was just like,
yeah.
just completely
I can
enthralled by it.
see film school teachers teaching that.
Oh, they
Um,
do. I mean, because
yeah,
it's considered to be the greatest movie ever made. So
yeah. And I would actually go to say, yeah, and that's on the AFI 100. It's number one on the AFI 100, where it should be, right? All
yes,
right, so let's do this. So
Blue Underground.
yeah, we're on to our Blue Underground.
Now, and we should let people know you. This is your. Isn't this your first Blue Underground order? Like you
No,
had. Did you
So
tell
this
me
is my
that?
first from the sales, but I actually have a couple. I have Uncle Sam, and I think that might be it. So this might be my only other,
Yeah, look behind me there. That's all Blue Underground there. There's three
oh, for
boxes of
real?
it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, so you have them all in boxes?
I know what's in them.
Oh,
But they're all, yeah. I mean, I don't have shelves or anything. So I label the box and stick it up on my shelf until I can figure out where all this stuff goes. That's just a small amount. I mean, in front of me over here by my stove is, oh
you,
my God, there's like 10 more boxes.
you need to stop buying movies, which you can't, but you need to
No.
stop buying movies so that you can buy cabinets to put them in.
Yes,
Like,
that I do need to do.
like
Well,
whatever,
people
like
have said
bookcases.
I own too many movies and I'm like, well, look, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't take expensive trips. It's like my life is pretty boring in a way. So let me collect movies.
I drink coffee and collect movies. If I were
Well, I drink coffee too. Yeah.
if I were drinking alcohol, I'd be fucked because I wouldn't be buying movies
Well,
anymore.
when I say I don't drink, I mean alcohol.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But I'm
Coffee,
saying like if
soda,
I drank
water.
alcohol, I'd be fucked because I wouldn't be spending movie money on movies anymore. I'd be
Well,
spending money on booze.
yeah. I'm in the same boat, but with food, especially with fast food, that if I'm spending $20 a day on fast food, and that's
Hey,
money.
that's cheap. This should
No,
be
it's
cheap.
not. Fast
I
food's
go to
expensive.
if I get fast food, I get Wendy's or something. I get like the
Wendy's
dollar
is still
menu.
expensive. I
Get like
normally
the
will get, I'll make this short so we can, because we're going off topic, but if it's like the number eight, I get like the four stack with with like the bacon on it. And then of course, everything has to be large. And then I go over to the dollar menu and order like three things off that. And so it ends up being like over $20. And that happens all the time.
yeah.
So if I stopped the fast food, which for me would be my alcohol, because there is Food Anonymous, which I've thought of going to actually, because I'm
Overeaters
fat.
Anonymous or
It's like I've heard it called Food Anonymous, Overeaters. I've heard it called many
yeah.
things. But yeah, I could take all that money and buy movies,
I think they stopped calling it
and I'd be
overeaters
thin.
just because it's more than that. There's a lot of other, kind of
It's psychological. I'm happy I eat. I'm unhappy I eat. If I'm watching a movie at home, I eat. If I go to the theaters, I eat.
that's why people drink. If I drink, everybody always says like, I drank every day that ended in Y, you know, and that's kind of with my movies. I buy movies at any day that ends in Y. All right. First up on the Blue Underground is the Prowler. And this
Yes,
I
great
actually bought
movie.
from eBay. I thought I owned it, and then I looked in my collection. I did not. So I was kind of disappointed because
That
I
is
actually have
that's an awesome one.
uh a thing. I wrote all the movies down and everything. So I double checked because I didn't see it in my stuff here, but everything's all fucked up. I need to reorganize my Blu-ray shelf, but at some point I will. I'm not really that, crazy right now. But yeah, so The Prowler's a movie I had to get and
That's a great one. It has some very clever scream type dialogue in it, which I don't want to say what it is if you haven't seen it. So
I've seen it, but it's been a while, so I
yeah,
need to rewatch it at some point. So yeah, probably better not because I don't know when I'm gonna I don't know for the horror film lovers stuff, all the horror stuff I do are if I do a review of a horror film, it's gonna be for horror film lovers, you know? And if I do a just a regular Blu-ray, like a
yeah,
uh drama or comedy, it would be through Blu-ray Hunter. So all right, then Toolbox Murders.
that's another good one. Yeah.
I saw the remake. I want to say Toby Hooper did
Uh,
the remake or somebody like that. Something
yeah,
big.
then there is a sequel. Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw the remake, and that was actually written by the guys who, if I'm correct, that did like Crocodile and a couple other ones that Toby Hooper directed. And it was pretty good, but I've never seen the original. So I've always wanted to see the original.
Well,
And
and the woman on the front there is one of my favorite porn stars. That's Kelly Nichols.
And I forgot Cameron Mitchell is in this movie, which is Red Letter Media's
Yes.
favorite actor,
Yes.
and everything. So I
Well,
can't wait to.
that's each one of those things has their favorite actors. Like a Mystery Science Theater, it would be John Baker. I
Right,
think
the
if
guy you said from
whatever,
Mitchell.
yeah. So that's their guy, and then Red Letter Media has their own guy.
Ours is Neil Breen. You know, that's our favorite director, or that's our favorite director and actor, I guess, because this both. Um, so then this is a double feature, and it is Hell of the Living Dead and Rats Night
Ah,
of Terror.
two fine ones, especially Hell of the Living Dead.
Oh, so John and I, at some point for horror film lovers, are going to be doing this Italian horror film thing, and I'm sure uh, eventually those ones will be explored for sure. But we're kind of going to go do like in sort of an order of things. Uh, and speaking of which, this will be on the Italian. This next one will definitely be on the first season of the Italian horror ones, which is City of the Living Dead.
Ah, yes. It
So
should be the second one that we watch.
yes, it will be the second one.
The first
So
one being
well, we can
probably,
announce it, I guess, because we'll probably do the whole series of
well, I
zombie.
don't want to say what it is just in case you're about to show the Blu-ray of
Oh
it.
no, I'm not. I'm done.
Oh, so the first one has to be zombie.
Yeah, first one will be
So
zombie, and then
technically it would be Argento's Dawn of the Dead cut, which led to zombie. But if you don't do that, then you have to start with zombie and then go into City of the Living Dead, The Beyond, and then all the ripoffs that came along with it.
well, what I
Hell,
think what my plan was to do zombie, City of the City of the Living Dead, Beyond, and I think was there another one or I'm not
it
quite
also
sure if the
matters
trilogy.
if we want to do his Gates of Hell trilogy, then that would be City of the Living Dead, The Beyond, and House by the Cemetery.
Okay, House by the Cemetery. So what I want to do is zombie, then those three, you
Yeah,
know.
the zombie was the one that put him on the map.
Right. And so that started it, but like it goes zombie, City of the Living Dead, Beyond, and House of the Cemetery, House by the Cemetery. Then we would explore Dario Argento, like four of his films, and then we would explore you know, somebody
But then you get
else's,
into like Mario Bava, who's the godfather of Italian
at some
cinema. Like,
point I want to get to Bruno Mattei, who did the Hell of the Living Dead and stuff. So, I mean, eventually I want to do all of them, but well, of the big directors, but what I want to do is four at a time. So we have
yeah,
12 episodes per
a lot of
season.
these guys died like while making their last film. So like Fulci did Zombie 3, and like two other directors took over, Bruno Mattei being one of them. And then Bruno Mattei, when he was about to die, he was doing Island of the Living Dead and Zombies the Beginning. Those are his last two.
Nice. Well, there you
So
go.
yeah.
So anyway,
There's a lot
well,
of stuff to explore.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff to explore. I mean, we'll probably won't even get into as many movies as there are, but we'll,
Oh, I wouldn't think
12
so.
per season is a pretty good amount, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
If we enjoy it and enjoy our discussion, because if you guys don't know, John and I do mainstream Mondays, so we already review, horror films. We just review more mainstream horror films. I wanted to do the Italian horror films because I saw City of the Living Dead. That was like, and I saw Demons, and I really liked Demons. I just didn't get to finish it. But I liked what I was watching. I was like, oh my God, this is really good. And I am not really a big zombie fan, as a lot of people know. But I'm trying to give them a shot, and I watched City of the Living Dead and felt very Shaun of the Dead to me in a way, like not the same style or whatever, but like it had comedic scenes, it had things that made me go, "Oh my God, this is interesting. This is exciting. Like what the hell is going on?"
Well, that's the difference between the Italians and the Americans. The Americans kept the only well, no, I can't even say that. We kept basically the same. But the Italians, once they realized that people weren't interested anymore, now all of a sudden the zombies can run. And then people think, oh no, that's 28 Days Later. No, it's not. It's Nightmare City, or City of the Walking Dead is the run with the first ones. And then the Italians introduced tools and guns, so the zombies could use weapons. So it's the Italians just kept kind of going with it and just changing it, which is why, like City of the Living Dead has disappearing zombies.
I love that. That was amazing. I had a lot of fun with that one. I remember I was texting you, as you know, or messaging you, and I was like, "Oh my God, what the hell am I watching?"
Oh yeah, it's beautifully shot.
Oh,
It's got a
this,
great soundtrack to it, and
yeah,
and it has Christopher George in it,
yeah, he
and
was great.
uh, it's because he did a fair amount of Italian stuff, and but yeah, we'll have to.
It was weird because it was an Italian movie, but it was like all American actors. It felt like, or mostly American people, and they were talking in English. I thought it was going to be in Italian and have to have subtitles or something, but
No, that back in those, well, one, the Italians got a huge tax write-off if they could shoot in New York.
yeah, they shot in like
So
New York, so
yeah, so a lot of Italian stuff like that is shot in New York because they got a deal. But
and
also,
then it was like
Italians don't shoot with sound.
it was
They
very
may now, but they
uh
didn't then.
it was very uh H.P. Lovecraft because it had the um
Well,
so
Dunwich
it's
and
cool.
yeah, and yeah.
The Dunwich stuff, and I thought that was really cool. Like I thought that was fun, and I thought that was an interesting premise for a movie, and so I loved it. When I watched it, I was like, because I'd wanted to check it out. I've been like interested in it, the most out of all the movies that I got there and stuff. So very cool to do that. Like I said, if I do like the Lost Weekend or something, that'll be on Blu-ray Hunter. But if I do City of the Living Dead or Hell of the Living Dead or whatever, it's on Horror Film Lovers because I don't want to do horror films for Blu-ray Hunter anymore. Like it's just like I've got places to put them, you know, and they've got to
Well,
get put.
and if you before you watch Hell of the Living Dead, I would assume you've seen Dawn of the Dead.
The original Dawn of the Dead that George Romero did.
Yeah. So you have to know that to watch Hell because it is a blatant ripoff. So
I
you need
saw
to, including the music and everything. It's just Bruno
I've walked in that
Mattei's Dawn of
mall,
the Dead.
from the Dawn of the Dead. I was hungover from a night of drinking at a convention and shit. But we walked around and I wasn't into zombies. I'd seen Dawn of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead, but I didn't never, so when I was walking around the store, all the people were huge, fans of Dawn of the Dead that were with me going around, oh my God, this is great. Man, we're right here. And I'm like, it's a mall, like to me, it was just a mall at that time. Now, if I rewatch it and I start really falling for it again, next time I go in there, I'll be like, oh my God, you know, that's the thing. It's just like anybody who walks by the apartment complex and Karate Kid, it's just like it's apartment complex. And I'm like, oh my God. I walked up to the door, I had to take a picture, a selfie, like by the door. I didn't want to go in, so I didn't want to bother the apartment complex. But
I would have gone in, but
yeah, I think they had it locked too. I could have gone in because
no,
somebody else was going in, and I could have just held it, got the hell, hold the door. Anyway, that's beside the point. Point is, that we're done. We are done with our,
oh, that's all of yours. I thought you had more
yeah.
for Blue Underground.
No, that's it. That was it.
Oh,
All
okay,
15 movies.
all right.
I went by a little quicker than I thought, but yeah, it's 15 films and 25 total. And what was your of this month, like these 2 months, what is your favorite that you got? Like what is the one you can't wait to watch or already watched?
Out of what we just showed,
Yeah.
I mean, I pretty much know what it is, but let me just double check here. Well, I really want to see Panic,
Right.
just because it just sounded so amazing. And I've already watched a couple of these, so probably I don't know, maybe Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, because I haven't seen that in like 20 years, 20, 30 years.
Okay.
So probably that. What about you?
I was thinking about it. Either uh the apartment on 4K, because but I have to wait till we get to that in the AFI. Like I could watch it before then, if I wanted to, but I really want the first experience of watching it to be when I'm doing the review,
Sure.
and everything. It feels more magical, to me. But uh maybe like the Orson Welles ones for sure, definitely. Well, I can't wait for. But like having a movie like The Tingler, you don't really get this much, like you don't see this anywhere. This is hard to get. You know what I mean? So like
Sure.
when I found this online for like $17 or whatever it was, I was just like, I'll definitely want to get it. And then uh the company Indicator, that's who puts it out from the UK. They have a thing called Powerhouse dot something dot UK, and uh they are like their website, where Indicator's on, and they have a 3 for £20 sale, so you can get 3 movies for £20, and stuff. So I'm gonna be getting like I can't wait to tell Paul I got this, or getting this, but I'm getting Gregory's Girl, and that should be on the next haul. Stuff like that, movies that you can't, just like The Tingler, you can't just find that like out in the wild, and stuff. So, I enjoy having, those movies. So
Sure.
really
Makes sense.
excited and can't wait to, jump into these. But yeah, and Chimes at Midnight, I saw a preview of, and it's like, this looks like a fun war movie. And I'm not really into war movies, so you know, me. I'm trying to expand my horizon this year. Watching westerns this year. I'm watching zombie movies this year.
See,
Just trying to.
I don't have any of that stuff. I'll watch anything that's good. So it's I don't think. I mean, I even like some rom-coms. I think on one of our end of the month hauls, I showed one that had 4 movies on it. Like Notting Hill and Love Actually. And
Yeah, movies
if
that
it's
Paul
if
goes,
it yeah, I mean,
too.
if it's a good movie, I'm down for it. So I don't care if it's a war film or a romantic film or a horror film or
Well, I just
you know
wasn't. Well, I wasn't into westerns because I'm just not in the cowboy stuff usually. But if it's good, I'll watch it. You know,
missing a
like you
lot of good
said.
stuff with westerns. I mean,
Yeah,
High Plains Drifter, Unforgiven, Stagecoach,
Butch Cassidy and the
High
Sundance Kid, which
Noon,
I
Butch
do like.
Cassidy.
I
Yeah.
do like
So,
that one. I do like. I have a 3-pack that has that, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and Magnificent Seven, the original. And sad that I have to
oh,
say
that,
that.
see
Um,
that those are good films, but for something like that, you need to get the Man with No Name trilogy then
right.
all
So
together. And then the Magnificent Seven stuff, there's uh collections that have all of them in it. Like
yeah.
I got one. I think I got it actually from Dollar Tree. It has like 5 Magnificent 7 movies in
But
it.
are they DVD or Blu-ray? I think it's
DVD.
DVD. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want the Blu-rays of them all, but I'm gonna eventually get them. Like it'll happen. I was happy about the In the Heat of the Night, but I don't really know too much about it. What you told me is more than I knew about the movie. Period. I knew it had Sidney Poitier and all this stuff. So,
Well, and the
really,
TV show was interesting because they got Carol O'Connor, to play the Rod Steiger
is that
role. And of
Archie?
course,
Is that Archie Bunker or no?
in Arch, yeah, and he played Archie Bunker, who's like a massive racist, who's like a total bigot. And so, and he's just a great actor to begin with. But it was interesting that they chose the guy who plays a massive bigot to play that role.
Well, I mean, it's called acting. We talked about that
So
before,
yeah,
like if you're a good actor, you can play both a dick like that and the exact opposite, So,
sure.
but all right, well, I guess that is it for our haul video. Join us We won't be back for another 2 months, so we'll be back in August.
Oh, and I already got a stack going. I
I do too. I showed you a
got about
couple.
10. Got 10 there,
Oh
and I got a few more
Jesus.
coming in.
Yeah, I've got to think. I want to say seven, coming. So I've got
If
I've got a
I
few.
think I'm now kind of doing a Jonathan thing where if I can get it on eBay, Blu-ray for $10, I'll buy it over the $5 DVD. But if it's
Right.
only available on DVD, like some of those collections that we've gotten recently, then that's what I just have to get it on. But if I
Yeah,
could, if I can get it on Blu-ray, I will.
there's a I forgot what's called Mr. Something, but it's Orson Welles's movie and it's
Oh,
only
like
available on
Saganicus,
DVD.
Mister Saganicus or something. I think
I
it's
thought that
close to
was
that.
that's Castle is Mr.
Oh yeah,
Circle.
that's William Castle. No, but his is something similar to that. It's
Yeah. Um hold on. I should know this movie.
I mean, so should I. Well, I know I've seen it actually. It begins with an A,
Yeah, I thought it started with
like
an A too.
like
Mr.
Acarin, Mister.
Uh yeah, hold on. Um
Nobody leave while the fascinating and exciting looking up
Exciting
a
looking
movie.
up movies are happening at this particular moment. Mr. God dang, he didn't write it? Did he not write the
Well, what's
movie?
the name? If you're looking at it, what's the name of it?
I know. It didn't show up in the writing. I thought it would be in the writing on
Well, just
IMDb.
just type in Wells Mister.
Uh, now that I'm like already here, I've got to it's
All
okay,
right,
so it's got different that's why. Okay, so it originally was called Confidential Report, but then or it's been called that. The original title is Mr. Arkadin or something like that,
that's
or
it. Yeah,
Arkadin. So
yeah.
yes, so Mr. Arkadin, and then that's only available on DVD, I believe. There's no Blu-ray of it, so I'm hoping Criterion, who had it, puts it out on Blu-ray, because why not? Especially if you're going to try to have all of the films on, and then now they're just putting everything on 4K. So there you go.
There. If it's Criterion and it's DVD, there could be a rights issue. So that's with something on the Blu-ray that it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's okay to release it on the. I'm sorry, on the DVD. That it's okay to release it on the DVD, but they can't move it all over to the Blu-ray.
Why is there a rights issue? Shouldn't it be public domain by now? I think there's a certain
I think it could be an interview or audio commentary or behind the scenes or
no
something like that.
idea. I can't
Yeah,
can't say
there's
anything.
at times stuff that's left out because they just like the person who was interviewed signed off on Laserdisc and DVD, but they never signed off for Blu-ray, and maybe they died or something, or they just don't want to do it,
No,
so they can't move that over.
I don't know. But then somebody else buys the rights or gets the rights or whatever. So I don't know. I'm hoping more of his movies come out on Blu-ray or 4K or whatever and get released. And a lot of them are coming from these boutique labels like Kino or Criterion or even um what was the other one, like Indicator. Indicator's putting out a lot of really good content. So I it and a lot of them is region free. Some of them they are region B, but because they are UK label, no Indicator. But um I think it's really great that they're able to put it when it's region free. I can watch it, until I buy my fucking region free player, Blu-ray player, which hopefully will happen by the end by summer, you know, or something. You know what I mean? But
Right.
anyway, I guess that's it. Is that all you wanted to say or share about this? Or
No, yeah, I'm good.
all right, check us out in 2 more months where we'll have another 25 things, and then by the time that happens, John will have two stacks of 25. So he will You'll have the next haul after that done.
Well, somebody, I think it might be, is it Severin? I think it's Severin has a sale on the 23rd. It's like the 23rd, 22nd. It's like one of those days, and it's there halfway to Black
Black
Friday,
Friday.
or yeah.
I
So
think who else? Vinegar Syndrome's having one of those too. So, so Vinegar Syndrome and
so it's whoever. Okay, so I think it's Vinegar Syndrome then, because it's the people who released the box set of the Black Emanuel movies. So I think that's Vinegar Syndrome.
might
So
be
it's
Vinegar
them.
Syndrome.
Yeah, so they're doing it, and I did buy that. So
Sweet. Well, I'm really excited. Debbie Does Demons is out on
that was fun.
Vinegar Syndrome. You got to see that, right? Because you got to
Yeah,
interview
that's the yeah
Donald's.
Donald Farmer. So I asked him if I could watch whatever his most current movie is, so we could talk about it. And
He
he
actually
sent me
put
that.
out a thing saying if any reviewers wanna review it or something, hit him up.
It's
Um,
fun. Yeah,
I
it's
would, but I
enjoyable.
kind of want to own it, not
Well, you
watch
could
it
always
online.
review it and then just buy
I'm
it.
probably gonna review it at some point. And, and it's gonna be funny because Jessa Flux and Angel Bradford have both been on Indie Film Cafe as guests, or whatever. And we love them. We love those girls, so a lot of the you know, classics. So anyway, thank you guys for checking this out. Please subscribe to the Blu-ray Hunter as well as check out the Blu-ray Hunter on Instagram and TikTok. I will be doing more TikToks as much as I can soon. So just get ready for that. But until then, everybody, hope you guys enjoy the show and we will hit you up soon. Bye.
Bye.